Let's practice flute. This is a short tutorial on Gariboldi opus 132, number 9 in B flat major from the book 20 Studies. This is in B flat and 3/8, so it's good to get used to playing in the compound meter. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, where the 8th note gets the beat. So counting right away. 1, 2, and 3, and 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 1, 2, 3, 1. Those of us who play in 4/4 a lot sometimes want to add an extra beat there. The opening section, which we're going to look at first, measures 1 through 16, sticks pretty well scale stepwise. So all of those notes are neighbor tones and close together with no tricky thirds in there. Measure 8, 9, 10, 11 has the F sharp. Measure 12 has the F natural back. So that'll just be a B flat major scale, and measure 13 and 14. So I'm setting the dotted chord note to 40 with triplet subdivision for now to feel this a bit under tempo. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And of course, I should have said, obviously warm up with your B flat major scale before you work on this. So that's pretty straightforward, and maybe just do it a few times with the metronome from 40, working way up to 60. Again, practice in chunks. So just play those first 16 measures a number of times until you're playing them clean and consistently and more quickly. In fact, let's do it now. I'm going to bump the metronome up to 45. At the beginning, first 16 measures. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we'll begin to feel it, the compound triple, or sorry, the compound single, so feeling oom ba ba, oom ba ba. It's going to feel like it's in 1, so but the compound, so heavy, light, light. All right, looking on measure 17. Here we have a new section that looks like it lasts until the downbeat of measure 33 is the chunk that we'll look at. We have a lot of neighbor tones. These are chromatic neighbor tones. The G, F sharp G in measure 17. A, G sharp A in the next measure. And those two things happen again in the following little 4 measures. In measure 26, we have the G, F sharp G again. And measure 27 is a bit more complex, but it's still the same G sharp. C, A, G sharp A, G, F. And then the same neighbor tones before. We also have some E naturals present here. So rhythmically, we have 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, and 1. And notice the first beat is slurred, and then the next 2 beats are slurred throughout this section. And let's try to do something with that. So we're back to dotted chord note equals 40 at measure 17. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And those same couple of measures a little faster. Dotted chord note equals 45. 1, 2, 3. The next chunk, starting at measure 32, looks like an exact repeat of the opening. So I'm probably going to skip practicing it, but I'm going to review 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46 to measure 47. Those handful of measures from from wherever that was, 33 to 47 are the same as the first 16 measures. So you might mark an A in a box at measure 1, a B in a box at measure 17, and then an A in the box again at measure 33. So that way you're seeing these repetitions of chunks. That way you don't spend time practicing the same thing over and over again. So skipping to measure 47. This is the same kind of rhythm as before, but notice there's a shift in the way the notes are grouped. We have thirds: B flat D, C, B flat A, C, B flat A, G, B flat A, G, F, A, G, F, E flat, G, F, E flat, D, F, E flat, D, C. So those thirds, we tend to want to fill them in stepwise. So we might accidentally have like the in-between note filled in there. And that's what we want to practice out. One way of doing that away from the music, kind of like playing the B flat major scale first, would be to play the B flat major scale in thirds. Etc. And as well as the descending. To get used to it. Also playing arpeggios is a good way of practicing thirds. But let's look right at this music. So the first one, measure 47, we have B flat D. And we want to, our mind wants to fill in a C there. So let's practice what I call figaros in this chunk, starting with D, C, B flat, D, C, B flat. And make sure there's nothing between the B flat and D. Shifting one note, C, B flat, D, C, B flat, D, C, B flat, D, C. And then finally, B flat, D, C, B flat, D, C, B flat, D, C, B flat. And then when we've done those three patterns, we've practiced that chunk in a couple of different ways to establish a new pattern in the mind to not feel like it needs to fill in those thirds. Let's do the same thing in measure 48. C, B flat, A, C, B flat, A, C. B flat, A, C, B flat, A, C, B flat. And now what you see, A, C, B flat, A, C, B flat, A. The next measure, measure 49, B flat, A, G, B flat, A, G, B flat. A, G, B flat, A, G, B flat, A. G, B flat, A, G, B flat, A, G. Measure 50, A, G, F, A, G, F, A. G, F, A, G, F, A, G. F, A, G, F, A, G, F. Measure 51, G, F, E flat, G, F, E flat, G. And make sure you're lifting the first finger on those E flats. And no, I wouldn't normally lift my first finger that high. I'm trying to exaggerate it for now. Let's do that same one again. G, F, E flat. Shifting. F, E flat, G, F, E flat, G, F. E flat, G, F, E flat, G, F, E flat. And then finally, measure 55, 6, 7, 8, 9, measure 60, F, E flat, D. E flat, D, F, E flat, D, F, E flat. And then the last shift, D, F, E flat, D, F, E flat, D. So practicing those intervals where you're not filling in the third, using that Figaro practice, Figaro, 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 but shifting it over reinforces a new pattern of behavior where you're not going to be as likely to fill those thirds in. So you'll have. And if you notice one is still filling in, for example, like that measure 47, 48, 49, measure 50, that F-A, we really want to put a G in there, right? Maybe do that one a little extra. And then you might put a minus thumb B flat sign if you're using thumb B flat in measure 53 for that B natural. But since it's just one note, we're only taking it off for the one note. You can put it back on by the D that follows in that same measure. So C, B, C, and then on the D, the thumb B flat is back on. Just to get used to that thumb shift. So let's look at those few measures. From measure 47 to 63 is the new practice chunk. And we'll go back to dotted quarter equals 40. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Measure 47 says piano e crescendo poco a poco. You might draw the crescendo in because reading all the Italian takes a lot of time. Same with measure 55, it's suddenly piano and then e crescendo poco a poco. Draw the crescendo sign in there. Let's try those couple of measures a little faster. Dotted quarter equals 45. Measure 47. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I would suggest for the dynamic shift, just look at measures 47 and 55. Forte, B flat, piano. Make sure you can go back and forth between the forte and the piano, and then add the scale in, relatively forte, and then come on a B flat piano. And I'm going to put a tuner on to see if my forte B flat and my piano B flat are in similar pitch. All right. And then the next chunk, measure 63. We have a ton of these neighbor tones, but 63, 4, 5, and 6 have the same little neighbor tones. So let's just look at that. The D, C sharp, D neighbor tone, you can finger the C sharp in an alternate fashion, leaving right hand 1, 2, 3 down. So from the D, you'll just open the entire left hand, leaving the right hand steady, and then close it again. D, C sharp, D. That is a lot fewer fingers moving because these 4 fingers aren't moving, and it keeps the flute much more steady, letting you do the technique with more stability in the flute, less likeliness for the flute to move around and the tone to get interrupted. The D, E flat D is just a pinky flick. So let's try those, that little reverse gruppetto. D, C sharp D, E flat D. And that happens 4 times, but the note that it goes to is what changes. Try just that a few times with the distorted rhythm, so not worrying about rhythm just yet. D, C, D, E flat, D, F sharp, D, C sharp, D, E flat, D, G, D, C sharp, D, E flat, D, A, D, C sharp, D, E flat, D, B flat. Trying that alternate fingering for the C sharp all 4 of those times. The next chunk is a little bit easier in the hands. C, B, C, D, C, E. C, D, C, a lot of fingers move, and we're not going to do anything to make that any easier. Sorry. So practice first the C, D, C. until you know that part of the chain link is going to be secure. Now let's try that group header, the C, B, C, D, C, just the 5 notes. And it will also happen 4 times with the note that it leads to changing. So let's distort the rhythm, moving from the C and measure 67 to the E downbeat. And then the final one of those, F, E, F, G, F. Technique-wise, you're only moving 1 finger at a time. So let's try the 5 first. F, E, F, G, F. And even if the technique's easy, I still like to do it so that way you can convince the mind it's easy and not so stressful. Now with the rhythm distortion, let's try measure 71, leading to the next downbeat. Also be careful to make sure that the leap is clean. So back in measure 63, the leap, the last note to the downbeat of 64. In the next measure, D to G. The next measure, the D to the A. The D to the B flat. Going on, C, E. Going on, C to F. Pick up to measure 70, C, G. Pick up to 71, C, A. Pick up to 72, F, A. And this is one we want to put the G in because it's so much easier to do. So we really need to make sure that left third finger, the G key, is lifting extra quickly. 70, 71, 73, pick up to 73, F, B flat. Pick up to 74, F, C. Pick up to 75, F, D. So take the time to make sure that all of those slurs are nice and even and easy and slurred. And let's try now, once that feels good, playing from 63 to where we just stopped, the downbeat of 75. Dotted coordinate equals 40. And dotted coordinate equals 45. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And working that chunk, just that chunk, repeatedly until it feels solid and easy and your shoulders are relaxed and you're not tensing up your lips to get those large leaps and the intervals, but everything just feels nice and fluid. Then begin to make it faster. Easy and fluid first, speed comes next. All right, and then these last few measures are kind of like what we did up earlier with the Figaro style in measure 47. Except it starts a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and Figaro that F, E flat, D, F, E flat, D, F. E flat, D, F, E flat, D, F, E flat. D, F, E flat, D, F, E flat, D. Measure 76, E flat, D, C, 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 E flat, D, C. And then 77 is the B flat, D, and we already did Figaro's on that when we did it earlier. And then 78, you might draw a bridge between the F and the A, just so you don't accidentally fill in those thirds. And then we just have these F major rips, except in tempo, right? All right, so this is going to be playing measure 75 to the end at dotted chord note equals 40. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Three. And so many students want to rush the ending because they're like, I'm at the end, it's no longer hard, let me get to the end. All right, and then dotted chord note equals 45. Here's measure 75 to the end. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Happy practicing. Please click the like and subscribe button too.